Hey everyone, my name is LuneVA. Welcome to today's episode of Meet the Cast of Modern Gangsters with yours truly. Today we have two new guests. Firstly, we have Lune, who voices Aiko Hishiya from the show. She's not been introduced yet, but she's going to be a very pivotal role. And we also have MatchaVA, who plays Ryousuke Takeshita of the Kabuki gang. So welcome you guys. Yeah, say hi.
Hello? Oh my goodness.
Hi.
My mic.
Wow.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome in, you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Pretty good.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for asking. So, would you
Thanks
like
for
to
hosting this?
Yeah,
I really
for sure.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. I really want everybody to see like what cool cast we have on the show. So you're welcome. Feel free to introduce yourself.
Hello. I'm Lune. I write stories and I make weird noises with my mouth for a living.
Basically,
That about encompasses the pretty broad, sort of subculture of the internet that I'm a part of.
That's a very interesting description for an ASMR artist.
Yeah, but I
Alright.
mean, I don't really necessarily consider myself like a full-on ASMR artist. Yes, it's a part of what I do, but it's not the only thing I do,
Right.
you know? So I don't really like to just call myself like, yeah, I'm an ASMR artist.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
It's like a VA mixed with ASMR, basically. Like,
yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
It's just semantics. Don't worry about it too much.
and Matcha, how about you?
Hey, my name is Matcha, and I'm a voice actor of the modern gangsters. But also I'm in other projects, of course, Beyond the Light,
Of course.
which has also Sayu.
That
I
has
just
me.
make some noises in the mic, and I was like, oh, all right. And also, I say some things, same things. So that's a thing that I do. So, yeah.
Editor, put a thing counter. How many times did he say things right now? For context, guys, the thing is, for this interview, I thought I would switch it up a bit. Since the last two episodes are like serialized, every question is in the same order, it's the same question. I thought, how about we have a little game today? So the thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna switch it up a bit. It's like a randomizer, right? If you're playing a video game and you like doing a speed run, you put a randomizer on it. It's the same thing here. So I have a coin in hand. I have some questions assigned to each side. If it's like heads has a question, tails has a question. And so I'm gonna ask one of you, heads or tails, and if it lands the side you say, I'm gonna ask the question assigned to that side. So if you say heads and it lands heads, I'm gonna ask the question on the head side and then a question from the tail side, and then we'll repeat the whole thing again with the coin flip. So yeah, that's the basic idea structure here for this interview. Yeah, I'm guessing you guys are like thorough with the idea before we move on to the first section, the first question of the interview.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alright, coolio. I'm gonna start this one with Lune. Lune, heads or tails?
Let's go heads.
Okay, heads. And congratulations! The first coin flip lands on heads. Great call. Okay, so question 1. How do you relate to your character in Modern Gangster? So you're playing Aiko. So how do you relate to Aiko?
Can I talk about how you pitched the idea to me?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
no?
discuss anything really,
Okay.
just without spoiling the show. But you can discuss anything. It's completely.
So, as Sayu stated, my character hasn't really shown up yet, which also means, what I know of her is very much what has been told to me as opposed to what I have observed. Because I think every voice actor or actor in general can kind of relate to that. You can kind of know who your character is just from what someone else tells you, but then there's obviously going to be a whole other side to them once you actually start acting them out, especially since if it's going to be a role that you're going to be playing for a while. So I can't say that I have any nitty gritty similarities to my character. However, I think probably in terms of attitude will be around the same, considering the whole
see.
premise of her character is was based off of some of my characters that I write for my short stories in terms of attitude, not in terms of content, of course.
Of course.
So I thought it was really funny when Sayu asked me to voice this character because he was like, well, we wrote this sort of like dummy mommy kind of character. And I wanted you to voice her. I was like, oh, I'm glad that I give off that vibe because I'm not like that at all. Well, kind of. Like, you know, so I'm sort of very, very excited to sort of see this character come into full, like, to be fully fleshed out, essentially.
Hey, you sound like a dummy mommy. I don't like, even if you don't have that attitude, but you sound like it, so you perfectly fit those type of characters. And I was like, I'm an avid fan of your content as well. Like, even before I became a VA and stuff, I've still like listened to your stuff for a long time. I'm like, who does this character remind me of? And I'm like, it's Lune. It's gotta be Lune. And then I immediately texted you. And I'm like, Lune, do you want to voice this thingy? And you're like, okay, what kind of character is she? I'm like, she's a dummy mommy. And you're like, I'm in. Okay, so now that you're done with the heads question, I'm gonna ask the tails question that I had planned earlier on the other side. So, the tails question is, what is your favorite aspect of the character you voice?
My favorite aspect of the Ryousuke as a character, I'd say, like, I mean, with him, you know, like, you written me as like a part of like his character. I feel like Ryousuke has like a little bit of that element within me, like as like myself. So a lot of times, yeah, I can be a punching bag, but sometimes like I'm just super chill. So I think putting myself into Ryousuke as a character wise, I'm like, okay, I can see myself, you know, it's like, okay, all right, let me do that. And I was like, yeah, why not? And also I kind of do like gardening at some point, so who knows? But yeah, that's really it.
You don't spray pesticides at plants, do you?
No, I do not.
Thank God.
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about the spraying the pesticides in plants. But yeah, the way I wrote Ryousuke was also like that because we all make mistakes, and the way Ryousuke is, like, he's the most exaggerated version of the "we all mistakes" line. Yeah, we all make mistakes line, and I feel like it's very funny because he does not fit the gang at all. Like, he's that one outcast. But he still fits in some. You see this a lot in like a lot of friend groups. There's that one guy who does not fit whatsoever, and Ryousuke is literally like that. He's not a fighter. He's not a badass. And I feel like he just fits it somehow. And I'm like when I like wrote that character, I felt like I put, again, as I mentioned in the other interviews, like every character in the Kabuki gang, or at least like the guys group, I feel like I've put some kind of element of me or people I've watched or like my friends and stuff in there. So again, I'm very glad that you guys find your characters very relatable to you, or at least relatable in some way. Matcha, heads or tails?
Tails.
Alright, cool. Let's see. Is the coin gonna give us heads or tails? Wow, you guys are on a winning streak. Holy crap. It's tails. Nice. How do you get into character for a scene? Lune, you go first.
That's actually a hard question because I don't really do anything special. Oh, that's hard because I don't have one. I guess if my voice that day is not, if I'm not really feeling that my voice that day, and this is like only sometimes, I'm not saying that this is something I do all the time, I would sort of do vocal exercises, but like singing vocal exercises. And then from there, usually that'll help my range sort of. Yeah, I think the only characters that I really do have problems with getting into in terms of voice sometimes is probably characters that have that have a higher tone of voice, but most of the time my dumb characters don't really have that. So yeah, clearly.
That's a great answer. You said it was hard, but you nailed the question like a boss. Damn. Okay, so how about you, Matcha?
I mean, okay, looking at like how I voice a character wise, like I just do my own research that's like how I do a lot of my voiceover stuff. I do my own research of the character first and foremost, how I see myself as the character. I'll like read through like what's the character's like and like whatnot, and I'm like, okay, like I always think, okay, do I want to give this a kind of sort of voice? I always ask like the person who's handling, like the showrunner in a way, like what's the voice look like and whatnot. And I was like, all right, let me actually do like a test run of the voice and like, okay, does this fit for the character and whatnot. Also, I do some vocal practice as well. But it's usually like probably like minutes, and I'm like, okay, let me try it out. If I would sometimes do it in 3 times, and then yeah, that's really how I do my own work. Really, when I do my characters. So yeah.
I like your answer better than mine.
Nah, you guys both gave good answers. Shut up. It's we don't do comparisons here. Everybody's equal.
Yeah.
No two new VAs. Like I want to make this series, like this like interview series, very relatable like to new VAs, because we're giving a lot of tips here. So for this episode, it's gonna be like vocal training. Like we had like like first episode, if I remember, it was like basically doing research.
If you do want proper advice, I would highly, highly, highly recommend you talk to a vocal coach or a singing coach. Will help on that.
For sure.
Too.
For sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, we're not coaches, sure, but we are voice actors, and we're like sharing our tips, like the way we do it. And as Lune said, it might work for us, but it might not work for you. But it's always worth testing, because you never know what sticks and what doesn't. Next question. But before we go into that, it's heads or tails time again. So, heads or tails?
Tails.
Okay, I'm flipping the coin. Play the drum roll, editor. You gotta put the drum rolls in here. What the hell? What? No way. You guys are like, are you guys telepathic? Why are you calling it every single time? Tails, tails, tails. Okay. Question. Are there any memorable interactions between the characters that you like particularly enjoyed recording for?
I don't think this is a good question for me because I've only had one line so far.
Yeah, not a good question for you.
It's not a good question.
You can pass. It's fine. You can pass on. Matcha, I'm very sure you have something. So Matcha, you can go ahead and answer for that.
I mean, like the memorable parts. I mean, like when I was recording for the character, it's like very interesting that because for Ryousuke, I'm putting myself as this character who's a punching bag. I was like, okay, all right, let me see what this is, and I'm like, I see this character. I like at first, of course, for me, it's like I see this character as a one-dimensional kind of thing, but I was like, I might change that when at some point in the recordings, and I was like, okay. At the same time, it's like I was like, okay, let me put myself into the character, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can see this. I can see it as myself. So I was like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So your memorable, basically your memorable. Yeah. Part of voicing for it is his relatability, right?
Yeah.
That's actually very cool. I like that. Okay, next section. So heads or tails?
I'll say heads.
Okay, this time we have our first loss. Yes!
Yes, it's the matcha lock. Woo!
Your math has gone wrong this time. The math ain't mathing for you. So, this is a very genuine question that I'd really like to know.
Okay.
What do you enjoy most about working with the Modern Gangsters team? I'm really...
Ooh.
Really? I don't know. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Lune first. Order.
Lune first.
I think people can tell by now that this is very much in the beginning stages of the project. So I actually haven't gotten too well. Okay, being a voice actor is a very solitary job, especially if you're doing it remotely, right? Opportunity to work with other people is actually quite limited, and I do understand that there are some casting directors that who do projects like this. Who like to have everybody be in call while they read their lines. I think the part that I do appreciate the most is how understanding everyone is. Because I have a lot of things I have a lot of things or a lot of projects that are coming up in my personal life. And that require me to be away from my setup and be away from home. So obviously when that happens, you can't really, work, right?
Yeah.
But I spoke to Sai about it, spoke to the other project managers about it,
Yeah,
and they were all
Steven.
completely and entirely understanding of it,
Mhm.
which is really nice because I have had experiences in the past with other creators where they weren't so understanding, even though they were like this, even though that project was, shall we say, not a priority for me for compensational reasons.
Mhm.
You can dot the T's and I's on that front. But with this one, I was really, really happy to find out that, you know, it seems like a very relaxed and very understanding work environment. So that's always fun. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, us as the Kabuki gang, we do a lot of crimes here, but the one thing we don't do is one thing we are is that we are very understanding. One thing we are not is criminals. None of us are criminals here, but we
Love that.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's like, because I've been there. I'm literally the same. Like, I'm an up and coming voice actor, and I have a lot of, issues with my own life, and I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to everything that's going on here. And Steven, the GOAT, project manager, also
Thank you,
is
Steven.
W Steven. Shout outs
W. Steven.
Shout outs to Steven. W's in the chat for Steven. The thing is, like, we both understand a lot when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, if you can't make it, or at least you can make the deadline, we always like open up or extend the deadlines for you, because we're still an up and coming project. We're not like AAA anime yet. We're not at Crunchyroll. Amazon Prime hasn't called us yet. I mean, please do call us, please. But they haven't called us yet, so we're still indie. So we have a lot of time, but it's not a problem.
Of course, and logically speaking, that is the way that you should go about it, right? If it is, it's a project like this, you kind of have to take it slow, especially since you have talents from all over the world. But you'd be very surprised that there are some people that are just not like that.
Patient.
And it's very, very oppressive or oppressing atmosphere to work in. So I'm very, very happy that this environment proved not to be.
Yeah, because we're all up and coming people in this this community, and we just want to support other up and coming people. So you're welcome. What about you, Masha? What's your opinion on this question?
My opinion is that, again, with me, it's I'm an upcoming VA, so it's most of the time, my work is on a remote kind of work stuff, and usually for me, I've been having most of the people be super understanding on the projects and whatnot. But at the same time, I do have those moments where some of the people are kind of they're not super understanding. So I was okay, it's a little bit of this step back from those kind of ones. But with this one, I was I'm very glad that's everyone's super understanding. So yeah, and also it's just fun being in this project. So that's really my take. Most of it just having fun in the community wise, having fun, working on as voice as a character, and also just having fun to just chat with people, getting new insight as well from other people who are also upcoming VAs. So you can also add it to your arsenal in a way, to maybe change it a little bit for yourself. So here's another tip for all upcoming VAs.
Tip number 2.
Please do sort of make connections, not networking in some sense, but just make genuine connections, and just meet new people, friends in general, and just get also just ask questions as well, about voiceover stuff. And you maybe will get some new insight as well. You can put that in your growth or journey into voiceover. So
which is a very good tip. That networking is it's not just about, oh, I want to voice or collab with other people. I want to make friends solely for the point reason for collabing.
No, that's not a good way to put it.
The way the networking works is that you have to make friends. Just reach out to people. Just have a good time. Really, that's the whole point of having a community. And I've seen in our community, our lovely little Kabuki gang, I've been seeing a lot of people make friends and chat about and stuff and having a good time really. So that makes me really happy because that's the point. It's like we're trying to unite people like from different aspects, like voice actors, artists, sound teams, everybody. We're all friends here. Like work comes first, sure, but socializing comes even above work.
Because in this industry and just in work and life in general, this is something that I've realized recently. There are going to be people, including your friends, including people that you meet through work, who are going to try to cross your boundaries. And they're gonna do that. Like that, there's no mincing words about it. You can't really avoid it. Because sometimes people are not as they seem when you first meet them. So in that sense, you yourself, other people are going to try and do that to you, but you need to have a very strong sense of self. You need to be able to stand up for yourself. You need to advocate for yourself. So other people may try to cross your boundaries, but you yourself should never, ever, ever cross your own boundaries. And I've seen this happen time and time again within this community, and not this project specifically, but just the community at large. So be very careful about who you make friends with. And you do really need to have a strong sense of self in order to kind of succeed or see some level of success. Because I see a lot of people sort of are not really secure. Secure is not a good word to put it. Are not very confident in their own talents, and they don't think that they actually have a place here. They got here on luck. But if you have the desire, if you have the passion to do something, especially when it comes to performing, then you do have a place here.
For sure.
But it's also up to you to sort of be very careful about the type of community and the type of environment you want to cultivate. Because like I said, not everybody is always going to be kind. Not everybody is going to respect you. So just be careful. And please, 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 please trust in yourself and believe in yourself more. Yeah.
So that's
we can get into a whole philosophical conversation
about
the whole like. No, seriously, we can get into the whole conversation about how, like, as actors and performers, like, a lot of people don't really have a strong sense of self and that is the reason why they get into it. But you have to, like, in every other aspect of life, you really do have to.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Agreed. Moving on from that question, we have question number 9. Okay, so how does working on this show compare to other genres you've worked on? Yeah, Lune first. We can put the Jeopardy song. The ding 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 ding.
Yeah, I think you might have to.
Editor, put in anything you feel like fits this section really. put the broadband noise.
Well, I've actually never done like a visual novel type situation. I don't know if this is what you would classify this project as, but it sort of reads like a visual novel situation to me. The only other thing that I've done that comes similar to it is like a narration project that I did a long time ago. But I guess the biggest glaring difference is that I don't know if this is going to be a common theme, but within the script that I did read, there was like an actual narrator voice. I've never really... I think that's the only thing that I can really think of that's the biggest difference. Because most of the projects I've worked on in the past and the projects that I'm working on now are very much not fourth wall break-y type, you know? And I haven't really worked on that many comedies too. So yeah, that's the biggest difference I can think of.
Very, very interesting. Well, I mean, the more you work on this field, the more differences you're gonna find in all the works you get. But it's a very interesting answer. I like that. Matcha, how about you?
I mean, like I guess like working on this is like I'd say like there is some similarities. Not too much a difference in my case, but like from what I've seen, I was like, oh, this is like it gives up a different vibe for me, like how I kind of do my own projects in a way, because most of the stuff that I do is like kind of pre-handed in some way or another. So this one, it's like it's still on an ongoing thing. So it's usually like there's more ideas that's still there, but I was like, ooh, okay, it gives off a different vibe in my case. That's how I see it. It gives off a different vibe.
So basically, it's like obviously it's nothing like anything else you worked on before, and then you're pretty new to this kind of a thing.
Yeah, I'm pretty new. It's still like a shock to me when I'm working on the modern gangsters. So, but I'm finding new stuff nonetheless.
Very, very interesting answer. Okay, flip a coin. Heads or tails, Matcha? Or was it Lune? I forgot! Lune. It was Lune. Okay, Lune, it's your turn. My bad. Heads or tails?
Let's go with heads.
Okay, flipping a coin. Drum roll, please. And oh my god, you. Okay, the math is on your side, Lune. The math is on your side.
I took statistics in high school.
Oh.
Okay, so the question is, what has been the most rewarding part of working on the show for you? It doesn't have to be like anything you recorded for, just being on the show.
I haven't really appeared yet in the show, so it's a little bit difficult to answer this question. But I do like the fact that I'm doing things that I'm not creating again. So when I was younger, I was in a lot of other people's projects, and then I also was making my own projects. But then life happened and other real life responsibilities happened, like school and whatever happened. So most of the projects that I did appear in were my own. And so it's like nice to be able to work on someone, like be a part of someone else's like baby, because I know how rewarding it is to see something that you've created see an idea that you've had come into fruition. So to be able to be a part of that is really nice, because it's like, okay, well, I might not be making my own ideas come into fruition, but I'm helping somebody else's, like helping someone else bring their vision to life. So that's a really nice feeling to have.
Yeah, that's a very relatable answer, because even though you haven't, voiced much in the show, the fact that you're doing something different than usual gives you like more like experience, something to add to your portfolio, because you can't just like go on your portfolio and write, I've done like 100 million fan dubs. They're not gonna care, because they're gonna look for what kind of stuff have you done other than just the same thing over and over again. Have you been in part of other indie projects? Have you been in part of video games or anime or shows? Like, it's not just gonna be like, oh, you've been doing dubs a lot, cool, we're gonna hire you. That's not how it works. So the fact that you're able to like participate in something that you've like haven't in a long while, I think that must be very refreshing to you, right? Like, just not having to write for once. For once, you don't have to write anything. All the writing is done for you. It's very good. It's a very good opinion to hear as a showrunner. So yeah, Matcha, how about you?
I mean, with me, like, with the most rewarding, like, sorry about that, rewarding about like the kind of like being a part of this project is that like I kind of discover a new archetype for my characters. For the most part, for me, like I've been in this archetype of like the protagonist or a background character. This is like my kind of like my first indie project that I'm in. So it was so interesting for me. So I was like, or even a shock for me. So I was like getting new experiences and whatnot from this. It really helps a lot.
Yeah. So it's like the thing with this show is like not everyone is the main character. There's no protagonist or like one protagonist. Everyone is a protagonist or an antagonist. There's nowhere in between. Like, in a background, even if it's a background character, they somehow still add a lot of, world building or naturality, if that's a word. I'm making up words now. And like that kind of stuff to the episode or the show. And
Mhm.
and the fact that you said that is exactly what I wanted you to feel. And I'm very, very glad that you feel that way because you're not the protagonist. I'm not the protagonist. Every one of us
Nope.
is a protagonist or an antagonist somehow.
In their own way.
In their own
Yeah.
way, basically. So yeah, great answer, dude. Great answer. One more flip and you guys are good to go. You're free from my prison. From my dungeon. So, Matcha, finish this off. Heads or
All right.
tails?
Heads.
Let's see if the matcha luck lives on.
Oh, man.
Oh, the matcha luck has sided with you. It is heads.
Nice.
Ding, 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 ding. Congratulations.
Math is mathing. We only missed one. That's
You only
really
missed
good.
one. That's
Yeah.
actually insane. Everybody take a picture. Okay, so your question, final heads question. What are you
Okay.
excited about for the rest of the show? Just whatever. Say whatever, really.
All right, so I guess what I'm excited for is like more like towards sort of like the character arcs of like each character, but also at the same time like probably like some one-off things and whatnot that kind of humanizes the characters. That's what I'm like excited for. Plus, I don't know, maybe some I don't know, maybe some short stories of each character. That's really it.
Very, very interesting. How about you, Lune?
I don't know. I think I'm just excited to see my character come, like fleshed out more. That's the biggest thing that I'm excited about. I think the best part about being a voice actor is when you get a script or get the material that you need to voice, right? And you voice it and you talk, and then this is just personally what I like. It's like randomly it's just like a one-liner that makes you as the actor laugh. So considering my character probably will say something along the lines of that, I think that's probably what I'm the most excited for. Just to be able to kind of like see her as like a more three-dimensional character as opposed to just like a concept right now.
This is not really like anything related to the show, but more like, are there any other roles or genres you're looking forward to, like, to explore in the future? Horror. Okay. Why? And could you elaborate on that?
Oh, I've always wanted to voice in like an audio drama or an audio drama / visual novel where where it's a little bit more thriller-esque or like I think my dream right now, like my biggest goal, is to work on a visual novel or audio drama that is more noir-esque. I don't know why I feel a lot of draw when it comes to that particular genre, along with horror. I think it's just I like being scared.
I feel like you'll do great in that department. So yeah, I wish you good luck, ma'am. Very much like thank you for being here, really. And anyway, now that we're done with that, I shall ask you anything, like any final stuff that you want to say before we close it off. Again, anyone can go first.
Drink water, go touch some grass, wear sunscreen.
It's
Yeah.
very hot out there. You need that sunscreen.
Yes. wear sunscreen.
For
It's very
me,
important.
socialize, please.
Make
Please.
friends, and I'm not talking about online
Yes.
friends.
Make actual friends, please. I love
Yes,
y'all.
please take care of yourselves today. It's tough world out there, so please be kind
Yeah.
to yourself. Yeah.
Everybody have a fantastic day, really.
That's really,
Thank
really
you.
nice to say.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're really welcome, because the point of this whole thing is we're trying to, again, support everybody, like up and coming VAs, experienced VAs. It doesn't matter who you are. You have a place here, buddy. You're part of the gang. You can be part of the Kabuki gang or the Yurei gang, whatever. You're part of us, and we appreciate you. And we're looking to have new people here too eventually. I'm your host, Sai VA. This was episode 3, I think, of Meet the Cast of Modern Gangsters. With LuneVA and the MatchaVA. Thank you so much for joining in. Definitely, obviously, like, share, subscribe, the whole YouTube shtick. And follow us on our Twitter at Kabuki Gang. And follow me on Twitter at the SayuVA for more updates on the show. Thank you so much. Also, screw you, Stray Dogs, for ruining my outro. I hate you. Thank you so much again. Much love, you guys. I'll see you guys in the next episode. So, bye bye.